What's going on, guys? Recon Jack here, bringing you my Week 10 battle against Zach and the New York Nidokings. I realized that this video is coming up late. I apologize. I honestly forgot to record this, and I know that it's coming out to you guys late, and that's my bad. I've been kind of busy over here on deployment, so things have been kind of getting taking a back seat while I take care of some things here. But finally, I'm getting this up to you. I apologize for no team builder. This is just going to be a quick recap of the battle. I'm honestly rewatching this for the first time in about a week, so I will try my best here, and we'll just get this out to you guys. As you can see, my team is the Hitmonlee, Heatran, Acelgor, Gardevoir, Electros, and Weezing. And Zach has brought the Alakazam, the Porygon 2, Weavile, Glalie, Empoleon, and Dragonite. So I kind of expected pretty much exactly what he brought, except for the Glalie. I thought that might be something else. I was kind of expecting the Clawitzer, to be honest, but the Mega Glalie was kind of a good sign for me because I knew that I could take it on with my Hitmonlee, but that priority Ice Shard from a Mega Glalie is a problem for some of my team. So it was kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing, but we're just gonna hop into this battle. I'm gonna lead off with my Electros just to kind of scout what he wants to do. He leads with his Empoleon, gets his rocks up. I just go for the Thunderbolt, and I do over half, so I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt again as he brings out his Porygon 2, tracing my Levitate. I do like 22% damage. Obviously, Porygon 2 is just a fat duck, so I'm not going to be doing much. But I know he can't Thunder Wave me, so I don't know if he has the Thunder Wave or the Toxic, but I'm just going to stay in because it's a good opportunity to knock off his Eviolite as he just decides to attack in with the Tri-Attack. I get my knockoff off, and he goes for the recover now as I just go for the Thunderbolt. So the Thunderbolt only does 33%, and I was max special attack, so I knew that I wouldn't really be able to take on this Porygon 2 effectively, but I wanted to stay in and make sure that I was able to Volt Switch on a recover, so that I could get a safe switch into something more appropriate. So that's what you're going to see here. He's going to whittle me down a little bit, and I'm going to go for the Volt Switch as he's going to oh, actually, sorry, I go for the Volt Switch as he Tri-Attacks, and I bring in my Mega Gardevoir, and then he switches out into his Empoleon as I Mega Evolve, and I'm just going to go for the Hyper Voice. I do about 24% damage, and after leftovers, that's not enough to knock out this Empoleon. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping, praying to all the gods that this Focus Blast hits. I remember this. I clicked the Focus Blast, and I was waiting for him to decide what he wanted to do. And I was just, please let this Focus Blast hit. Focus Miss. I always miss the Focus Miss. All the time. It earns its reputation, it earns its name with me in my hands. This is the one time where I just need it to work. So I click the Focus Blast. Oh, I built that up for nothing. I click the Protect, scout and see what he wants to do. Goes for the Signal Beam. I kind of don't want oh, well, say hi to Sans, guys. That's my roommate. He's gonna hop in on this video, I guess, but he's gonna go for the Signal Beam. As you guys, or some of you guys may know, Bug is not super effective against Mega Gardevoir because it picks up that Fairy type in 6th Gen. That's the second time somebody has brought a Bug type move from my Mega Gardevoir, not realizing that it's not super effective. So I'm pretty sure a Stab Flash Cannon would have been a better idea. But he goes for the Signal Beam, and I'm just going to go for the Focus Blast here. I land it and knock out the Empoleon, so now it is a 6-5 lead, and he brings in his Dragonite, and I am going to switch in my Weezing, which is my true counter for this Dragonite as he goes for the Extreme Speed. I'm not sure what set he is, but I stay in with my Weezing, and I'm going to go for the HP Ice as he brings in his Porygon 2, and I do next to no damage. And here I'm going to switch out into my Heatran as he goes for the Recover. There's not much that I can do with my Heatran to the Porygon 2, but I can get up my rocks. So I get up my rocks as he goes for the Thunder Wave, and we got our first yellow magic of the game here. He goes for the Shadow Ball, doing about 19% damage to me as I go for the Flamethrower, doing about 34%. That's not enough to knock him out on the next turn, and he can just recover up on me because I'm paralyzed. So I'm just going to switch out here, back into my Electros as he does go for the Recover. He goes for the Tri-Attack again, and I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch, trying to get some initiative into my Mega Gardevoir. And here I'm going to fire off a Hyper Voice. I thought this would KO. When I ran calcs prior to the match, I thought that I had calced that a Hyper Voice does like 90-something% minimum to a non-Eviolite Porygon 2. But I guess I messed those numbers up a bit, and he lived on a small sliver of health. Well, a respectable amount, and he ends up getting the paralysis off on my Mega Gardevoir, which is a huge problem because this would have been a great answer to that Dragonite prior to a Dragon Dance, but now it's kind of useless. So he goes for the Recover, and I'm just going to go for the Hyper Voice again, doing a little under half, and he's trying to recover stall me here. I do 55%, he goes for the Shadow Ball, and I'm finally able to knock him out. As I sit right below half, he brings in his Weavile, and I get paralyzed going for the Protect, trying to scout what he wants to do. He goes for the Knockoff. It doesn't knock me out because I am a Mega, even though my defenses are low. He doesn't knock off an item, and it's not super effective because of that Fairy typing. So I live on a sliver of health, but there's nothing much I can do at this point. He goes for the Ice Shard and knocks me out, and I'm just going to bring in my Hitmonlee, who I know can OHKO this Weavile with a Mach Punch, and I know that if it's a Sash Weavile, I've broken that Sash with the rocks, so I'm pretty confident here. He switches out into the Dragonite, and I go for the Mach Punch, only do about 13%, and I take Life Orb damage. I switch out back into Weezing as he decides to roost up, and I was like, shit. I hope this is not a bulky Dragonite, because in testing, bulky Dragonite was giving me the most problems. It was like the biggest threat on his team was a bulky Dragonite. So he goes for the Dragon Claw and does 25% to my Weezing, and I just am trying to break its multi-scale at this point. So as long as I have a little bit of damage off on this Dragonite as my Weezing dies, then that's my goal right now. So I'm just trying to get chip damage off, trying to break that scale so that I can bring in something else to revenge kill the Dragonite. And he's gonna slowly whittle me down with Dragon Claws as I am trying to chip away with HP Ice. And I get him to right above half as my Weezing dies, and I bring out my Selgor, who's packing the Scarfed HP Ice, and I knock out the Dragonite. Now he brings in this Glalie, and I just kind of want to sack off. I want to save my Selgor, so I decide to sack off my Electros as he Mega Evolves. And now I'm going to bring in my Heatran, completely forgetting that Glalie learns Earthquake. I didn't think he'd have anything for me, and I thought that I'd be able to either scare him out into Alakazam and get a nice Flamethrower off, or just outright OHKO the Glalie with a Flamethrower. But he is packing the Earthquake, and because he outspeeds, KOs my Heatran. It's a bit unfortunate, but that's just kind of how things are. I bring in my Hitmonlee. I know that I can take it out with a Mach Punch. I'm hoping he does an Ice Shard. I'm actually not sure why he didn't Ice Shard here, because an Ice Shard, along with the Life Orb damage that I was going to take, and then Weavile coming in and Ice Sharding me, would have KO'd my my Hitmonlee, but he doesn't end up doing that. So I take out the Mega Glalie with a Mach Punch, and he brings in his Alakazam. If this had been a Focus Sash Alakazam, it wouldn't have mattered because I had my Scarfed Selgor in the back who could take care of the Alakazam, and then as the Weavile came in, even after rocks damage, I could still take an Ice Shard and then proceed to kill with a Bug Buzz. But I go for the Sucker Punch here, and I think this was like a Life Orb or a Scarfed variant of Alakazam, so he drops to the Sucker Punch, and he brings in the Weavile, goes for that Ice Shard, knocks me down to 9%, and I OHKO with the Mach Punch and take myself out with the Life Orb recoil, and I win the match in a safe 1-0 victory over Zach and the New York Nidokings. GG Zach. I wasn't expecting the match to be so close. In testing, I had been winning about 3-0 each time once I got comfortable with my team, so you definitely brought me down a lot lower than I had expected. So good playing on your part. I hope to see what else you got in your next few matches. Good luck to everybody else in their upcoming matches, and this is it for week 10. Moving on, I'm going to record my week 12 video against Bill next. Still waiting for my week 11 match with Alex if he ever decides to show up and respond to my challenge on Skype. Then we'll get that in and I'll get that out for you guys. But for now, this is Recon Jack signing off.